Enforcement of the Building Code Act in a territory without municipal organization is the responsibility of whom? The Building Code Act. Yep, the test should be on Wednesday, but when, I don't know. Time in yet. If it's during class or later in the evening, you have to do a poll and see what's convenient for everybody. Building Code Act. And we have what? Five responses, and it's Building Code Act. For bracket 1, and the answer would be okay, so you go to 4.1 in the Building Code Act, and it says that the minister is responsible for the enforcement of the act in organized territories, and that will be, answer would be A. Okay. All right, any questions there? Okay, so your next question is 25. Says Part 9 of Division B applies to all residential buildings more than 10 square meters, but not more than 600 square meters in building area, not more than 3 stories in building height. You have to look at the Building Code Act and Division A to get your answer. Why is it true? Well, I've been teaching that so far. On my slide, I've been teaching you how to read the building code. It's a matter of how to find this, okay? Because this talks about a building, and building starts in Building Code Act. And then I went through slides which talked about what part of the code applies to where. All that is in my slides. So the answers are based on practice. Thank you, William. Hello, what's the question? Michael, everything is practice. Hello? I have a question. Go ahead. Yep, 1124, William. That's correct. So we get 1124. There's more than 10 squared. Yep, it says more than 10. More than 10 makes it a building under the Building Code Act, bracket 1. Okay, first, we got to have a building. Determine where it goes. So the answer will be true based on the roadmap. And we have in the Building Code Act, it tells us that it has to be more than 10 square meters to be a building. That's a good start. Then we have residential. Then we go to part 9, part division A, which tells us what part of the code applies to the size of the building. And 1124 tells us it has residential. And 600 up to 600 square meters and not more than 3 stories. The answer would be true. Part 9, 1124 bracket 1 includes residential of this size. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. 27. Says the demolition of a building in an unorganized territory is exempt from the requirement to obtain a building permit under Section 8 of the Act. And your hint is division C, 1, 3. Warren says true. Correct. 1, 3, 1, 1. Okay, now, I always say, you always have to read what it says. Okay? And 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1 in division C, bracket 1 says you're exempt from the permit. It says for demolition of a building located on a farm. It says subject to sentence 2 for the construction or demolition of a building in territory without municipal organization. And it sends me to sentence 2. And sentence 2 says exemption in clause 1B from requirements to obtain a permit does not apply to the construction of a sewage system in a territory without municipal organization. Okay. However, the question refers to demolition. That will give me an answer as true. Okay. This is not the act. This is the section 8 of the act says you need a permit to construct. Okay, then you go to division C, and division C gives you the exemptions. So part 8 literally says everything must have a permit. And you have exemptions in division C when you need a permit. Okay, section 8 says you need a permit. Right, so that means that it's true. It's the demolition, not construction. Okay. There's a hint for you. Always read beyond. If something tells you an exception, always go there and see what it applies to. Right, so let's go to 28. 28 says, according to the building code, the municipality must issue a building permit or state reasons for the refusal of 500 square meter care facility. Within what time? We have to look at division A and division C. In division C, okay, this one can be a little difficult. Okay, so I will give you the roadmap. I can see there's only one correct answer. Okay, so the first thing in the question is asking about the refusal or the issuance of a building permit, and it gives you an occupancy. The first thing we have to establish, what part of the code does this occupancy fits into? You go to table, division A, sorry, go to division A, 112, and that's application, rest of the code, right? And it's a group, it's a key occupancy. And when you look in 1122, it refers to key occupancy. Okay, so it means that this will fall under at 3 building. It will fall on the part 3. Then you go to table 1313 in division C. And in the column 3, it says building described in 1121A or B of division A, other than building described in column 1 of any items 1 and 4. And 1 and 4 does not fit this building. So when you look at row 3, it says it's 20 days. The answer would be 20. Okay? 1122, it says here. How did I know C? Because I went to establish where this occupancy. It tells me the refusal or the issuance of a permit. It says 500 square meter care facility. Then I go to Division A to find out whether this care facility falls in Part 9 or falls in Part 3. I looked, A1122, bracket 1, it says here. Okay. That means my building falls under Divisions A and Part 3. So when I go to table 1313, which tells me the period which a permit must be issued or denied, in row 3, it says building described in clause 1122 bracket 1. And this building is described in 1122 bracket 1. And the column says it has to be 20 days. That okay, Warren? All right. Okay, so that's for the next one. And it says here in 29, again, according to Division C, a builder must notify the chief building official on the readiness to construct footings. Upon receipt of the notice, the inspector must perform the prescribed inspection no later than, that's again in Division C. Here's with inspection. AA had a couple more students in this one. So I feel I did all this exercise, not in vain, but I'm happy for those who showed up. What's the code reference? Right color, on the right track. 1353 bracket 1 says how many days? Good. So the majority got it right. And that is 1353 bracket 1. There it says that they have to respond within 2 days. Okay, so the answer is A. Just a matter of finding, as I taught you, on the keywords. Then you find the section that deals with issuance of permits. Okay, so question 2. Which of the following standards and addition, okay, standards and addition, is applicable to the sizing of softwood lumber? Nine three two six. Yes, Warren, but it doesn't give you the addition. As to the standard, but you don't get the addition from that. Just the standard. So once you have the standard, you have to check and see which edition of the standard. Yep, it just says CSA 0141, 0141. To get the proper edition, we have to go to table. You have to go to table 1312. Again, I can't tell you how to study, but you'll keep notes on what applies to what. That's your cheat sheet. Determine what part of the code applies to what. So for example, this, we went through the question. Also division C. Make reference to what's in division C. Question comes up, you just put the sheet and you go, division C covers ABC. Division A, ABC. Okay, so we got 9 choosing B, so that's correct. And we get that from table 1312 in division B. And when you look at the table, it says that CSA 0141, which the year is 05, 2005. Okay. Next one is question 1. Here it says a farmer wishes to use 38 by 224 millimeters spruce number 2 graded lumber from his tree lot as floor joist. According to division B, part 9, the maximum permitted span of the floor joist with bridging and space at 4 or 6. Center. You have to determine the span, maximum permitted span that farmer's joist is woodlot. It's 224. That's what he's cut it. He can't use larger than 224. He cut 224. That's what he has. So it tells you that if you are less than the nominal dimension, then you have to do some adjustment in order to determine whether your joist can span. What's the span of those joists that you have undersized lumber. You're looking for undersized lumber. What part of the code are you using? We're going to use division A and then reference part 9. 9.3, what will get us to our answer? Yeah, I was really hoping that this session would be more questions than trying to look for the answers. I figured that by providing you early, you might at least have the code references, and then we'll have more time to discuss how you derive the answer and be able to finish probably all of the questions. But it appears that you're doing it now. Okay. Like I said, it wasn't to be a teaching session, it was a session to answer your question. All right. So anyway, undersized lumber. Right. From there, as if it's within not less than 5%, then you can reduce the span by 5%. The first thing we have to do is what? Compare what? Okay, so if we go to table A1, there, in 9328, Now, the questions on your test will be not more difficult than this. Just a matter of see who reads beyond this thing that they see in the code. It won't be any more difficult than these. Okay, so the first thing we do, in the save time, you can get more questions in because I know you haven't prepared. Most don't seem to have prepared this. So I have two correct answers. Okay, so 93281 tells us that you can use undersized lumber, not less than 20, not less than 95% of the number listed in the tables. We go there to table A1, spruce number 2, and we have first we have 38, which is standard. The only difference we're looking at is 224. So we have to find how to 24, but it's pretty clear. William, table A1. Yep. Refer to table A1. I'll give you a hint. So you go and look for 235. Try different ones, but I think 224 is closer to 235 than 184. So 235 times 0.95. That gives me 223, less than 224. The 224 is within that 5% permitted by 9328. So then I go to look for 235, bridging, and space at 4.6. Table A1 says it can span 4.17. Okay. And it says that if I have undersized lumber, I have to reduce the span by 5%. Therefore, again, I take 95%, and that's equals to 396. Okay, so my answer would be C. Any questions? Well, it says it can't be less than 5%. If it's over 5%, you might want to go to the bigger joist. So if the bigger joist doesn't work, then you come back to the one. But this is over 5%. This is 224. 5% will be 223. It says it has to be at least 5%. Okay, so it's over and it's closest to 235. So you look for the span, 235 with bridging, 4.6, it can span 4.17. And then you take 95%, that's 3.96. That gives you a reduction in 5%, and then your answer will be 3.96. Right? Okay. Next one, I threw this one in here. It says, based on concrete mixes described in table 9317, site batch concrete, which one of the water to cement ratios would conform to the code for a basement concrete floor slab? Okay, so we have to look at 9317. One, 9316. Six. And we look at table 9317. Okay, so look at nope, can't move it. That's collaborate. Doesn't let you do much. Then you also have to look at table 9317. And you look at what's associated with the table. Okay, right track. What the camera? You just selected the. Well, you have one right answer. Okay, the time one and the pole. Okay, so we go to table 9317 and 9316 just tells us that we have interior floor. It's not a garage or it's not a carport, it's an interior floor. And we go to 9317 and it says for interior floors other than those for garages and carports, the ratio is 0.65. Then I go to table 9317. It's stated at the top of 93171. The note says that I have 40 kilogram bag is 28 liters. So I have 160 kilogram. First, I have to figure how many 40 kilogram bags I have from this 160. That gives me 4 kilogram bags. 240 kilogram bags. Yep. 240 kilogram bags, and now it's 28 liters per bag. 4 times 28. That's equals 112. Then we take 65% of 112. Warren, Michael wants to know where the 65 came from. He would be my assistant today. That gives me 72.8. Thank you. That's 72.8. So your answer would be D. Okay. Good. So the answer would be D. All right. So we have to figure out the number of liters, how many 40 kilogram bags we have. We have 4. And a 40 kilogram bag is 28 liters. So you multiply 4 by 28, you get 112. And then 93171B, because it's an interior, just 65%. You multiply that by the 112 and you get 72.8. The answer would be D. Okay. Notes to the table, notes to the table. Okay, so let's go to 9.4. That's question 3. And we have a 4.3 meter wide by 10 meter long house located at Tobico, Ontario. Specified design load 1.1 and snow is 0.4. We have to determine the specified snow load. 9.4 of the building code. Right track. On the right track. Okay, we got enough time for this one. It's pretty straightforward. I have four correct answers in the poll, and the reference to get the answer was 9-4. Right, right. Okay, so we're not doing part four. All right, so please stay away from part four. Only using that as a guide to get us to 9-4 formulas. So it's 9422. 9422 tells us how to calculate the specified snow load. Okay. And sentence 1. And then sentence 2 tells us that it cannot be less than 1. The answer is D. Okay. Right. So next question, we have a 100 millimeter diameter column with a 200 millimeter square base plate, transfers 60 kilonewtons from a house onto a footing. The soil beneath the footing is dense silt, and the water table 700 millimeters below the footing. And we ask, the question again is to determine the depth. Okay, so again, look at what the question is asking before you answer, because this question, the answers could be all over the place. Now we 9-4. Okay, so you got a roadmap. Nine, 4, 1, 1, bracket 1. How's this? 4. 9, table 9, 4, 4, 1. And 9, 4, 4, 3, bracket 1. Where do we start? First, we find the What's the first thing we have to do? Response. What's the first thing we have to find? Great. So the first thing we find here is the area. We have to get to the depth. First have to find pressure applied from the footing onto the dense silt. Yeah, we have 60 kilonewtons onto dense silt. How do we find the area of the footing from 60 kilonewtons and dense silt? How do we get an area from this? Again, go back to our basic formula. Exactly. So we find the area by doing a little bit of area is okay. So dense silt I get from 9441. Okay, it's 100 kPa. So to get the area, 60 divided by 100, 0.6 meters. You got 0.6 square meters. And to find the length and width, assuming a square footing, take the square root, 0.6, and we get 0.775. Okay, so what do I do after this now? Now we have a width and a length. Okay, so now what do we do next? Maybe, maybe not. Follow the roadmap. You have silt. Correct. So does the water table have any effect on the size of the footing? Multiple choice questions, you got to be careful. A lot of the answers are going to come up with what maybe you're thinking initially. So for example, 775 minus 200 over 2 will give you an answer. May not be the right answer. The water table is less, so we have to do what next? Less, and you go to 9443, and it says you have to double because we have silt. 15, Now we have the width and length. Now we can determine the thickness. E, we have a base plate, 200. The base plate, and then we get the overhang. That will give us 675. And the 8 tells us it can't be less than 100 millimeters. So we okay. Okay, so your answer here will be A. Right, so don't just jump to the first conclusion. You have to look at the question in terms of soil, maybe the water table. You have to ensure in relation to the soil whether you have to double the area or the foot, depending on. Okay, so let's go to question. Let's go to question 12, line 13. Okay, and here it says the hydrostatic pressure occurs and the exterior finished ground level is at high elevation than the ground level inside the foundation wall. A is the entire exterior wall must be waterproof. The exterior surfaces of the foundation wall below ground level must be waterproof. Interior surfaces of the exterior foundation wall below ground level must be damp proof. There are the drainage layers required on the exterior surface. That's right, Jimmer. So and the answer would be 9, 13, 3, 1, bracket 1. Yeah, this should be a quickie. Right. So if you go to a 9, 3, 3, bracket 1, it says that the exterior surfaces of foundation walls below ground. It doesn't say the interior. It doesn't say all the walls, and doesn't talk about drainage layer. Therefore, the only one left is B. We're talking about hydrostatic pressure relation. Once you have hydrostatic pressure, then that triggers you to think, well, I have to do some waterproofing. Okay, hydrostatic pressure that relates to waterproofing. Okay, any questions? Okay, so now again in 913 it says where dam proofing is required, it must always be installed above or below the floor slab. Always be installed below the floor slab. True or false? All right. So it says in 91327 gives you the option. If you have two slabs, it can go on top. The answer to this question based on 91327, that would be false. Okay, because you can put it on top. The slab we're using a separate floor. Right. Next question is 913 again. It says where dam proofing membrane is installed below floor slab. 91327 is different. What reference do you have, David? Nine 1327 on 93 Richmond. Nine 13. I'm not confused here. 91327. That's changed? I don't think so. Dam proofing of floors and ground. 91327. So your reference is what, David? Reserve wood foundation. 26. 91326 for dam proofing. I have moisture protection for interior walls. 91326. Your binder, which is a recent binder, new one. Yeah, but I have to check the reference on the code again because that's a big change. Okay, I have to check that reference. However, binder 2012 purchased this year from order line. Ah, reserve wood. I gotta check my code and see. I would bitter. Anyway, you'll be able to get the right answer. So we're not asking for code reference, so you'll be able to come up with the right answer anyway. Okay? Then you look for the heading, damp proofing membrane, below floor slab. That's what you're looking for. I'm not asking for code references in the test. It's the answers. So it might be different places as long as it's the correct number. That's important. I would make a note of that because that's another change again. Somebody mentioned the change, and I was looking in the order line is not really the official copy. You're aware of that, right? So I'm just want to see whether or not if somebody using the download, check the download and see if the download also has that change. You're looking at, I have 9327 as preserved. It has panel type tolerances. Mm, Beyond the material, we have 950. Okay, just another thing for me to check on. I would check the official version, which is the code, and see whether that was changed. Okay, so let's see. The answer. I did. Somebody said the tables they had a different number from me, and I checked the official version, and I didn't see any change really. I'm not sure which one you were using. If that person's on today. Okay, so which is the correct answer? Section change. Okay. Check on that. So, from wherever it is, you can find it. What's the answer? Section 913 change. Yeah, I got some changes here. In 913.4.5, there was some editorial. In 913. 913.3.2, there was some 3.3 editorials there. Okay, so most people choose C, and C will be the correct answer. Okay, C is the correct answer here. And I have 913.2.7, so it could be changed again. So wherever you find the answer, that will be the answer. Okay. Michael, change that whole section. Okay. Right. So let's go to 15. It says drainage must be provided at the bottom of a basement foundation wall where the insulation extends to more than 900 millimeters below the exterior ground level, where the foundation wall contains the building interior, the soil is not well drained, or unless it could be shown to be unnecessary, or where the foundation wall contains the building interior and the soil is clay. Then we want to get to some tougher questions. 914.2.1 bracket 1. That's correct. The answer would be C. Hopefully we have the right code reference here. So 942.1 bracket 1. And now some people chose A. And again, reading the question, if it shows A, that relates to a drainage layer. Okay. Here it says drainage. Okay. And some answers might describe what will make it unnecessary. So the answer may not show unnecessary unless it can be shown to unnecessary because it might show something that okay as well. Okay. So when you're looking for the answer, you have to broaden your mind and not just look for specific words say unnecessary where the question might says, well, the soil is very well drained or something. Okay. So there you go. All right. And 14 again, drain tile. 16 at the bottom of the foundation must be laid on 0.10 millimeter polyethylene, 150 millimeters of crushed stone or coarse gravel, uh, laid with the top above the bottom of the floor slab, laid on undisturbed or well compacted soil. And again, this is your format of how your questions are going to be. So I give you the answers, and then you just have to figure out which one is the right one. So, and there are no code references because so far I can see a lot of people lose a lot of marks. But luckily, in some cases that we're doing online, in class, the importance is where you find the answer. So therefore, you have half lucky. I don't know, whole luck. Oh, Warren gave us a roadmap. And the roadmap, the answer is somebody got 91441. That deals with drainage, isn't it? Unless the code changed now. 91441 is subsurface drainage. Grading. Yeah, that's for the grading to get rid of water under the slab. One method. Okay, so the majority of the answers are correct. We got a D. Okay, 91433. Correct. That's correct. So 91433 bracket 1. It tells us it has to be laid on undisturbed or well compacted soil. The answer will be D. Okay. And now, number 30, the one I added. It says, consider a one-story house with a basement. A drainage layer is required on the exterior face of 19 millimeter mineral fiber insulation, the density of 50 kilograms per meter cubed, is where the insulation extends to more than 900 millimeters below the adjacent ground level. Okay. So I'll start you. Save some time. Two. True or false? Okay, so now again, I give you the roadmap. All right, so here in sentence two, you can see everybody heading in the wrong direction. Sentence two says that it gives you a description of what a drainage layer can be. Okay, it gives you a description of what the drainage layer is. It also gives reference to some other part of that same article. Okay. It says except as provided in sentence 4 and 5, which nobody took the time to look at because I can see you guys didn't do much prep. Okay. So sentence 4 says that except where the insulation is acting as a drainage layer, and with 50 kilograms per meter cubed, it's less than 57, so it cannot act as a drainage layer, the answer will be true. Okay. Questions are difficult. Like I said, it's just that nobody's going beyond the first thing that you see. Okay, so if you believe what you see, you're going to be easily fooled sometimes. Right, so the roadmap 50-57. All right, so let's go to 5. 5 says, it says, consider 10.9-meter high, 140 millimeter thick interior non-load bearing masonry wall. Wall extends from the footing to the second floor ceiling of a 2-story house with basement. The question is the minimum footing depth. Where in the code you find that? Footing, 915. Yep, Ian, right track. So the answer would be, again, the one you should have been familiar with, I think. You recall during your exercises, if someone went back and review, that's right, I am. Okay, and we derive from that is because we have a 10.9, it's a non-load bearing. So 915.36 bracket 2 tells us for the first 5.5, it's 200. 200, that's a 5.5 meters. And when we add another 2.7, add another 100, and that takes up to 8.2. And we add another 2.7, another 100, that gets us to 10.9. Okay, so now we have a 400 wide footing required. And to find the depth, you have 400 minus 140 divided by 2 comes out to 130. The answer here will be B. Okay, another one, and this is 6. This is pretty straightforward, I think. It says the water table lies below the bearing surface by a distance less than the width of a footing. If the soil is dense sand, what effect would this have on determining the size of the footing of a single-story house? Table 9441 tells dense sand is what? It's 150, I think. Then we can use 915. We go to 915, and 915 gives us an answer. The answer would be sand is greater than 75, 150. Last question was 130. B, 130. Yeah. That sand is 150, which is greater than 75. So we go to 915. 915, 3, 4, bracket, bracket 3. That tells us what we have to do. Oh, that would be like a pizza. Hey, everybody seemed to have their correct answer. Okay, so I can see the majority heading the wrong way. Okay, first of all, when you go to 915.34 bracket 3, it says the width of the strip footing. Here we said the depth, and because of the allowable bearing pressure, we went to 915. 915, it says the area of the footing must be double. Okay, we have time for one more. Somebody actually wanted to get to last one was question 10. Here's the question 10. Question 10, it says consider two-story house. A is not correct because A talks about the depth. Question 915.34 bracket 3 refers to the width. You have to double the width, not the depth. Okay. Six we missed. Well, let's do this one first. I'll give you the answer. 6 is the D. D. Thanks, Warren. Here we have consider a two-story house with a basement, and the exterior walls are 190, masonry on the second story, and 240 on the first story. Foundation wall supports 2 floors and is laterally supported at the top. Engineered wood joist spanning 6 meters. Says the wall is 2.6 meters high between the footing, the supported joist. Finished ground level 1.2 above 100 millimeter basement floor slab. Question was determine the thickness of the concrete block. The first thing I have to look at is draw a picture or a sketch to see what the question is saying, see what I can gather from that. First, I have a basement slab, the footing, and I have my support. Here it says my support is 2.6 above the footing. That support is 2.6. The dimension I really want to determine the thickness is above the basement floor slab. Okay. The basement floor slab is 100. So the unsupported height is 2.5 meters. I go to my table, 2.5, table 915, 42A. And it says what? 2.5, and soil. The soil is given at 1.2 above. That will be what? And reading the question is important. 1.2, what's the thickness of the foundation wall required? Table 915, 42A. 200. We're talking about a concrete block. There's a 200 there. It's a 190. Again, maybe there's a change, who knows? Okay, so from table 915, 42A, if you look, to tell you it has to be, it could be 190. Okay, everybody's seen that? Okay, but like I said, if you believe what you see, you're easily fooled. Because as we did in 925, 1 bracket 2, look at 925, 1 bracket 2, see if you have a different answer. What would be your next answer? The answer will be 925 1 bracket 2 tells us what? Masonry wall cannot be less thickness than the wall supported. The wall supported is 240. The answer will be C. Okay? Answer will be C. Everybody follow the roadmap there? Okay. Back. 6. Again, the answer was D. So which of the following is not a factor in determining the minimum thickness of unreinforced concrete block and solid concrete block walls? What would it be? Laterally support at the bottom or not? Maximum height of ground above the basement floor? Strength and type of material? Laterally supported at the top or not? The answer comes from table dealing with the thickness of foundation walls. Table. Which one of these is not a factor? A. Correct. A. It doesn't say anything about laterally supported at the bottom. It says laterally supported at the top when you look in the right column of that table. The answer here would be A. But the question is difficult? I don't think it's difficult. It's just a matter, like I said. Okay, we did 9:15, so maybe we can do a 9:20, maybe 9:17. How about this one? We have two steel columns support a built-up wood beam over a garage door of a house. The beam consists of 338 by 235. Question is the minimum required size of the 6.35 millimeter top steel plate. The 235 is the depth. $9.17, and we're looking at two columns. Okay, so again, you got two columns, hooked up wooden beam. Look for the keys here. Size of the beam. Width, I should say. It has C. What's code reference? You're looking at Carla. What about steel column? Steel columns. You're looking at the wood columns, I think. Okay, I forgive you. While you figure the answer, there was, before there was television, young people like me got a lot of information from older, more experienced people. So one day, a group of friends were sitting, talking to some older guys, and one guy with a couple of drinks, he just started mouthing out. He said, I've been in the Navy. I've been all over the world. I've been to Germany. I've been to England. I've been to France and Russia, everywhere. Oh, you're all drunk, hammered, and the kid says, "Man, you must know a lot about geography." He says, "Son, I've been there too." What's your answer? You must know a lot about geography. I've been there too. 935 421 D. Ooh, ooh. This is a steel plate. Top steel plate. Yay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I wanted even getting close to the answer. Okay. So when you go to 917 32, bracket 1, what does it say? 917 32, bracket 1. What does that say? You have to read the whole thing. Okay? You have to read the whole thing. Don't stop at the first thing you meet. Finish the sentence. And that sentence says what? The top plate has to be minimum 100 by 100, but but it's that's Warren almost. I thought you were making a sentence. Yep. Okay. I got you. Right. So that the rest of the sentence said it had to be the same width. And when you complete the sentence, it says it has to be the same width of the wood beam. The minimum width for that would be 3 times 38. And that's equal 114. You have your minimum 100, and then because of the beam, you have to extend across the width of the beam. You need 114. So the answer here would be A. Okay, you gotta read the whole sentence and the question. You guys want to continue? We could go to 4:30. See if we get some more stuff in. Okay. The next question here it says now a wood column supporting a built-up wood beam is made up of 438 by 235. What would be the minimum size here of the column?